It's softly spoken, with no strings tying you to me.
Common idioms.
I'm happy in your company with no emotion, 'cause my love deserves to be free.
These idioms are more useful for the students who are studying from secondary level to intermediate degree or all competitive examinations. Today I will explain you commonly used idioms. Before going to study idioms, what is an idiom and how is it different from a proverb? How is it different from a proverb? What is idiom? How is it different from a proverb? Generally, each and every language has idioms, phrases and proverbs also. Commonly in each and every language are there. What is an idiom? What is the definition of an idiom? What is meant by an idiom? An idiom is a phrase or expression that has a meaning that is most cases cannot be deduced. Do you know the meaning of the deduced? Cannot be divided the words. The meaning of deduced means to decide that something is true using the available information. That is the meaning of deduced. Directly from the individual words in that phrase or expression. The idiom, it is a combination of more than two words, and we cannot divide the words and we cannot see individual meanings. It gives different meaning. For example, the idiom bite off more than you can chew. Generally, each and every word we can see bite, bit, bitten. Biting, dog bite. When are eating anything, we are biting. Bite off more than you can chew. We take any food, we take a lot of food at a time, it is not at all possible for chewing. This idiom, bite off more than you can chew, means doesn't mean you bite more than a mouthful of a cake or to do something that is too difficult. Something else then struggle to chew. It is not we are not thinking that way. It is a wrong conception, wrong context, wrong meaning, wrong sense. The meaning of the idiom is, it is meant or it means you try to do something that is too difficult for you. You have to participate, you have to involve in some dispute, some work you are not able to solve that work, complete successfully. That type of situation is called bite off more than you can chew. Idioms, we should know the meaning of the idioms, and we should remember the idioms by using a number of sample sentences or example sentences, and we should use in day-to-day life in our language, communication language. Next, we go to How are they different from proverbs? Proverbs, idioms and phrases commonly asked in every competitive examinations and academic examinations also. Proverbs are well-known saying stating a general truth or advice. This is the definition of the proverb. Different between the idiom and the proverb. What is the meaning of idiom? Idiom is a phrase or expression that has a meaning that in most cases cannot be deduced directly from the individual words in that phrase or expression. That is the definition. First of all, remember the definition, difference between the proverb and idiom or idiom and proverb. And next, here before we go to, for example, the proverb, a picture is worth 1,000 words. This is the proverb. A picture is worth 1,000 words. This is a general truth. 1,000 words we have to reading number of books, number of pages. When comparing the reading number of pages, we see the picture. That picture is in our mind permanently. That image is permanently in our mind. We can't forget that thing. But we read something, we maybe forget. We never remember always. The idiom, bite of more than you can chew, however, is neither a general truth nor an advice. It is a saying or stating a general truth or advice. That is the more important. Proverb means how are they different from proverbs? Proverbs are well-known saying, stating a general truth or stating a general truth or advice. Okay, next, before you get into the idioms, I would give you a tip if you want to use them. What is the tip? It is relatively easier to remember words than to remember idioms and proverbs, because idiom is typically contain 3 or 4 more words. Remembering a string of words in the correct sequence and recalling them in a flash while speaking isn't easy. One thing that has helped me remember, and more importantly, use them to repeat the idiom a few times loudly and then in 2-3 different sentences. Usage of idioms are more important. You always remember those idioms. If you are not using in daily life, you maybe forget those idioms. Okay, you study the number of books and practice each and every day. Common idioms are nearly 200 popular idiom expressions are there. For you to consider, consolidate what you are learning, there are 4 quizzes in this post. After this completed, entire topic has completed, I will conduct you quiz context also. All the students should listen and observe. You may refer the dictionary also and go to the net and observe the another examples. After listening this class, you should refer to, you go to the net and gather the information, different examples. Daily how to practice. First one is stir up a hornet's nest. This is one of the idiom, first one. I will explain you about this idiom. Stir up a hornet's nest. Actually, the meaning of the idiom is provoke trouble, to create trouble, to cause an uproar, a commotion which possibly ends in anger and frustration. These are the synonyms of that. To create trouble, to create a problem, or to cause an uproar and commotion which possibly ends in anger and frustration. This is the meaning. Based on that meaning, we have to use different examples. First of all, I will explain each one example. That one is here the example also I have mentioned here. It is not that the management is not aware of few false bills. Aware means very careful, not aware, not taking any care. A few false bills here and there, but they don't call it because it would expose many stirrup and hornets' nest. They did not think upcoming problems. I will give you one more example also. Generally, some institutions have been auditing in every financial year. When the auditor, in this situation, one more example, when the auditor asked for more evidence, the Treasury Department stirred up a hornet's nest because they didn't have more. That is the situation. That is one more example I will give you. I have given one more example. Next one is second one is back against the wall. This is a second idiom. I should explain clearly about it. First of all, students should concentrate when we are going to learning any topic. You fully concentrate. You have to in detail study. More important. The meaning of back against the wall. It is back against the wall. We are not putting our back against the wall. That is the wrong concept. The meaning of the entire phrase, meaning, idiom meaning, be in a difficult situation for where escape is difficult. We are not escape from the problem. We are facing a difficult situation without any way to escape. It is not possible to escape from that situation. That type of situation we are called back against the wall. Hard pressed situation. Hard pressed situation. To be in a tough situation. Critical situation without any options. These are the explanation about that. Critical situation. Tough situation. Hard pressed situation. Without any way to escape from dangerous. That type of situation is called back against the wall, the idiom. Back against the wall. Next, we go to the example. Here one example is there with banks paying for his blood over default. Paying for his blood over default in payments. He has his back against the wall. Bankers are demanding to pay the amount at a time. Everything you should pay. On that situation, the person has been in tough situation. He is to be in the tough situation, and he is not able to escape from the situation. I will give you one more example regarding this one. Some simple example. I wish one of the person is in a difficult situation. He needs some money. He may be my friend. On that time I will say him, I wish I could help you, but my back is against the wall because I don't get paid for 2 more weeks. Sorry, I am not able to pay at this time, at present, because my back is against wall. That means I am in a difficult situation. I am not able to pay at present. That is explanation. Next one is bite of. Third one is than you can chew. Already in the introduction part, I have already explained about that introduction part. Here, the meaning of bite of more than you can chew, to try to do something that is too difficult for you. That means we have taken more burden than we do that. That type of situation is called bite of more than you can chew. For example, you can take here, he has taken more responsibilities. He is one of the person has taken more responsibilities, as he couldn't say no to his boss. For example, we are doing a job in particular owner. He is instructed me, he is advised me, guided me. He said many things at a time. We should nod our head each and every work. But after thinking sometime, what we are bearing more difficult to do this work. That type of situation. But here examples, I think he has bitten more than he can chew. That means, and he will struggle to handle them all. He has taken more responsibility by the burden has taken by his boss or master. We can do master, owner of the shop. This type of situation, I think he has bitten more than he can chew, and he will struggle to handle them all. It is more difficult to him to handle all responsibilities at a time. That is the explanation about that. And fourth one is head over heels. Head over heels means we cannot heels put on our head. That is not the meaning. If you are head over heels, you are completely in love. You put in love. You fell in love. Completely in love. That is the meaning. Head over heels means. That is the idiom. You are completely in love. You are completely in love and affection in something or someone. That type of situation is called. We should use that idiom, head over heels. How to understand that one? If you the idiom should be used in the usage, you should prepare some more sample sentence or example sentences, and day-to-day life we are using, we should remember the idioms. Head over heels. Max, this is a proper noun, one of the person. He fell, Max fell head over heels in love with her colleague and wants to marry her. He fell in love and he wanted to marry her. He is deeply loved her. That is more important to understand, head over heels. Well, you should remember one example for each idiom, then only you should not forget those idioms. Here the Max fell in love, fell head over heels. Head over heels ante Max fell completely in love. with her colleague. For whom? With her colleague. For whom? With her colleague. And wants to marry her. He wanted to marry her. Because he fell in love, he wanted to marry her. That is the fourth idiom. And we go to the next idiom. Important idiom. Upset someone's apple cart. Upset someone's apple cart. Upset means worry or sorrow or displeasure. Here, if you upset someone's apple cart, you do something that causes a plan to go wrong. We give a wrong direction. That person turned into wrong direction. We direct like that type of aspect, that type of thinking, that type of thought, that type of situation. Upset someone's apple cart. Try to understand the meaning first of all. If you upset someone's apple cart means you do something that causes a plan to go wrong. We should direct others in a wrong direction. That is the meaning of the upset someone's apple cart. Next we go to the example sentence. Example sentence. The increase in customs duty by the government has imposed the customs duty. They increased. They have, we feel more burden. The increase in customs duty by the government has upset the apple cart of those car companies. A company which produces cars, that company has been imposed the customs duty. That's why the company feels like that. The car companies who are importing most of their car parts. That is the upset someone's apple cart means something that causes go wrong. So more bad, worse, worst. It fell into the worst situation. That is the meaning of that sentence. Upset someone's apple cart. And next one is spoil someone's plans. This is more important. This is commonly asked in TET examinations and DSC examinations for teachers recruitment and the academic classes also. Each and every competitive exams without idioms and phrases there is no question paper at all. Spoil someone's plans. Spoil means ruin. Spoil means to destroy, to ruin someone's plans. Someone is thinking about his plans and going in a good direction. He has his own plan is there, own thought is there. But someone is enter his life, he gives a wrong direction. That is called someone spoil someone's plans. To ruin someone's plans. To ruin means to destroy, to give you a wrong direction and fall into difficult situation, adversities, opposite of prosperity. The heavy overnight rain. One day, overnight rain, heavy overnight rain. This is the example sentence. The heavy overnight rain spoiled our plan to play cricket. Some of the children are planning to play cricket tomorrow morning, entire day, and enjoy in the playground. But on that time, at night, overnight heavy rain, it was raining heavily. Their plans has been spoiled. They are not able to play cricket next morning, early morning. That is the meaning of this idiom. And then we go to the seventh one. Keep someone at arm's length. Keep someone at arm's length If you keep someone at arm's length, you avoid becoming friendly with them. We are not interested to do friendship with him because something is wrong. He may be in a wrong direction. He give me a wrong direction because we are not interested. We are not willing to do friendship with someone, with company, with others. Some students are may not give good direction to us. That's why we avoid them. We are far away from them. We keep away from them. That type of situation. Keep someone at arm's length. Keep someone at arm's length. That type of situation, that type of action, if we are not interested someone, he may be give wrong direction to us, we put him far away. We are not going to close friendship. We are making the close friendship. For example, I have more productive time in the day because I have developed this good habit of keeping video games at arm's length. Video games, we are playing video games in the cell phone using most of the time overnights and late nights. So I have more productive time in the day because I have developed this good habit of keeping good habit of keeping video games at arm's length. We have to far away from that. We should concentrate more productive time. We know the value of the time. That's why keeping video games at arm's length. That is the meaning of the idiom. Today I will explain you nearly 10 idioms daily. Many classes, nearly 10 classes, I will explain you daily 10 idioms for each class. Students are requested or advised or directed, you should prepare some more examples basing that idiom. That is more important. You should understand the meaning. If the student have grasped the meaning of the idiom, it is easy to frame the example sentence. You should prepare each and every idiom nearly 5 sentences, from 3 to 5 sentences. You should frame, you should construct grammatically correct sentences. Number 8 is up in the arms. Up in the arms means angry about something. We feel angry, we feel displeasure, we feel unhappy. Up in the arms means angry about something. Media has traditionally been up in arms with the government of the day. Media, either print media or electronic media, has traditionally been up in the arms and angry about something with the government of the day. The government has been doing something for the service of the public. For in some occasions, the government may not give good service. On that time, either print media or electronic media or the reporters also traditionally been up in the arms. They should become angry with the government of the day. That is the example sentence. And from ninth one is a good idiom, and it is frequently used in daily life. Drive a hard bargain. Drive a hard bargain means if you drive a hard bargain, you argue hard to get favorable deal. You should turn that aspect your side. Drive a hard bargain means, if for example our child is asking to I wanted to buy a bike, a scooter or motorbike, the father is not really interested because he is maybe misused, and some of the troubles may become. That's why the father did not interested to buy a bike for his child, but the child is taking the consent of the father with explain in different types. In that situation anamata, drive a hard bargain. The author tried to drive a hard bargain with the publisher on signing amount, but couldn't because he did not have bestsellers. On that situation, the author who has written the books, he is asking the publisher, because he could not, but he could not because he did not have bestsellers. That's why he is, the author is hard bargaining. Last one, before closing this class today, barking up the wrong tree. This is a very interesting idiom. Barking up the wrong tree means to ask wrong person or follow the wrong course. If you want to information about the railway timings, we should go to the particular department. Or if you want to medical treatment for our health, if you go to the doctor, we are asking the information, but concerned persons concerned. But we go to another person, we should not get, we should not solve our problem. That is the meaning of the barking of the wrong tree. For example sentence: the sales team blamed the engineers for the organization's failure for bag the mega deal, but they were barking of the wrong tree. What do the engineers do? The sales team blamed the engineers for the organization's failure to bag the mega deal. What do the engineers do? Organizers, they have failed that mega deal, but they were barking up that situation is, that contest is, but they were barking up the wrong tree. Okay, children, my dear colleagues and friends, today I am wind up or some of the class. Before closing this class, I will give you some suggestions. After listening this class, you should frame more and more examples and give your feedback and your response or your reply. How is the class is, how much we have benefited after listening this class. Thank you everybody. Close it.